Hey everybody, it's Chad back with another collector video showing off my collection for all those of you who want to know what I collected and still collect, as for that matter. And today I have a co-host, which is Morley, and Morley is really excited because the topic we're going to talk about is one of his favorite things, right? Well, maybe not today. But he probably wants to take a nap. You want to go take a nap? Okay, he's going to go take a nap. So that was Morley. And basically today we are going to talk about, not only do I have the hat on, but the movie, That Thing You Do, which is a movie that was released in 1996. And it was actually produced, directed, and written and starred in by Mr. Tom Hanks. As many of you know, he's Oscar award winning for other movies, and I'm sure at some point in everybody's life there had been a Tom Hanks movie that you really liked, and this is no exception. This was really a great movie, and has sort of a cult following, and the reason that I'm so much into this, as well as Tom Hanks, who obviously wrote it and directed it and so forth, was that it was inspired by the band Dave Clark Five, who were an English band around the time the Beatles were in and so forth. And Tom Hanks also inducted the Dave Clark Five into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So anyway, this was re-released for the 20th anniversary, which was 2016, and it is the director's cut. It has both the regular theatrical version and it has the director's cut, which is extra, about 20 or 30 minutes of extra footage, which is very interesting. So if you've never seen the movie, I'm sure most of you would probably rather see the theatrical release, but for us geeks who like the movie, it has the director's cut, so it's very interesting. But this is one thing I've just have had an interest in collecting, because the movie is so near and dear to my heart. Being a musician, more active in the past, but still am a musician, this has a lot of interesting parallels to life of a musician, how quickly success can come and how quickly success can go. And you know, there's really an underlying story here, but also enjoy the music from that time period, and you know, the movie really brings that out. So that's why I happen to collect this, because I really enjoy it. So anyway, I'm starting, and I've got some, you wouldn't think the movie has much collectibles because it's not like an action adventure with figurines and things like that, but there are some really neat collectibles for this, including my That Thing You Do hat, which I was fortunate enough, my best buddy gave me this, and had been looking for him for a long time. And surprisingly, many collectibles from this movie, since it's sort of a cult followed movie, can fetch a real high dollar on eBay and so forth. So I'm going to show you some things that I've got, and I'm going to step over here and put the movie down. Start off with the movie poster, because as any fan would normally be into something, you have every movie has a poster pretty much. This is the second poster that I've actually owned. The first one actually got ruined in a flood when I lived back in Maryland, and it was signed by Jonathan Scrieff. And of course you see on here Tom Everett Scott, Liv Tyler, Steven Tyler's daughter, Jonathan Scrieff, Tom Hanks, Steve Zahn, and Ethan Embry were the main characters in the show. Many of them actually do autograph shows and signings, and as well as many of the character actors who played other bit parts in the movie do as well. I do have one autograph down there, and I should be getting another one hopefully this fall. But hopefully Jonathan will do another autograph show and I can get it signed, as well as hopefully eventually I'll get it fully signed. So they have two posters. Normally most major motion picture releases do have two posters, and this is an A poster, and they have a B version, which I like this one better. It just is the cast, and really kind of neat. So on top of that, we do have the soundtrack from the movie, That Thing You Do, and that was the actual hit song in the movie. And this is kind of neat because this actually does almost look like the 45 from the movie, but it has some really great, a really great score for the movie. And surprisingly enough, Mr. Tom Hanks actually wrote or co-wrote several of the songs on here with a couple other guys that he got to do work on the soundtrack. And it's really a period piece. It really sounds like the music from that era, so it's very good, or snappy as Tom refers to it in the movie. So if you know the movie, you know Snappy. So this is the soundtrack, and of course, yes, I own that. And they did release a single version of That Thing You Do. This actually looks more like the record from the movie, but it just has the main song on it, and I picked that up as well as a single. Moving right along, there is actually a couple variations of the 45, and for those of you who are young that don't remember 45s, this is how we actually used to play music. 45 has music on it, you put it on a stereo record player, needle goes on it, and you hear music. It's amazing. It's not an MP3. But this version is released by Epic, and it was available in stores as well as in the promotional material from the movie. And it's actually pretty much sought after, because on eBay this will probably run you between $30 and $50, believe it or not, just for this single. Some of the other things from the movie are not that pricey, but there are some, including the hat. Hat can go for $50, $60, $80. I've seen them on eBay. So again, it does have a cult following, and people love to collect things that are rather hard to get. So this is no exception. Moving right along, I do have That Thing You Do button, which was given away at the premiere. This is a fairly common item. You know, would say in the $10 range, you can get this. This is also back when they released certain movies, they actually had a program, and this is framed now, so I didn't want to take everything out of the frames that I had on the wall, but there's the boys, the Wonders from the movie, with Tom Hanks as their manager, Mr. White, and this is actually a movie program, has colored pictures in it from the movie itself. And they do have other countries, Germany, I believe, UK has different versions, and most of my stuff is from the US. So that is the movie program. I was actually also very fortunate to work in a music store at one time, and we had several copies in the archives of That Thing You Do sheet music. And I picked up both copies, and they're framed and on the wall. Not to mention, here's another 45 like this, but with the picture cover. And this is pretty much like they had in the movie. The guys were really excited to have their own 45, and I've seen these signed, but this will actually fetch upwards of $100 or more sometimes just for the 45, because it's pretty rare. They also have a UK version that I've seen, has a different B-side from the soundtrack as well. So I did recently purchase this, and I purposely took this off the wall to show you. This is a press kit from the movie That Thing You Do, and it's pretty neat. It actually almost looks like a album, which would be the larger version of the record, and it does really come with some cool stuff inside. It has shaped like a record. It actually has again a program with more information on the movie. For all us geeks that are into the movie, you can just find out a ton of stuff, and really interesting there. It also has like a cast list and a bio from people who worked in the movie, like all the production people, Amazing amount of information in here if you want to know that. And usually in here comes the other 45, which this did not have, but I do have another copy that's going to go in there. And I was very excited to get this because I've seen these alone, just the photos from the movie, fetch about $20 each on eBay. And there's, you know, various ones, all again pertinent to the movie, scenes from the movie. Just really cool and frameable. And maybe at some point I will actually frame these and hang them on the man cave wall. But I did want to point out that these are pretty hard to get, and a lot of people break up the press kit and sell these. They try to get more money from them. Interesting cameo in the movie was Tom Hanks' wife played the barmaid, and Chris Isaak, for those of you 80s fans who love 80s music, Chris Isaak made an appearance in the movie as well. And so there's Tom Hanks directing and so forth. So it's got some really neat pictures from the movie. And this is what they call a press kit. Today they actually do press kits in almost a DVD form, where you'll get like a box that it looks like this with all pictures on there. And I mean, there's nothing really printed, you know, for press kits any longer. It's just all done digitally. So, but I definitely wanted to share this with you all, and I'll put that away later. But anyway, that is what a press kit was back in that time frame. And these can fetch anywhere. I got mine really, really inexpensive. Couldn't believe I got that fine for about $20. And but they go upwards of $100, $150. So definitely interesting kind of collecting point of view. This has never been something that I looked at overwhelming to collect, because the movie's out and what was out for memorabilia was it. So there has been interest in doing a sequel to this, but I don't think it'll ever be done. You could be wrong, but who knows. But anyway, it's just a really cool, fun movie, and I just really enjoy it. So if you haven't seen it, give it a watch. It's definitely on the streaming networks. It's on, I'm sure, YouTube and Hulu and all these other channels now that you can watch movies, Netflix, I'm sure. But anyway, that's that thing you do wall, and this is just another thing I collect. There really isn't much other that I want from the movie, unless I didn't know something existed that may pop up at some point, but I would definitely love to get a UK version of this because it has a different track on the second side, so that's kind of the only thing I'm really looking for this. But since you guys wanted to see my collection, and this is just another part of it, I hope you enjoyed it. Give the video a like and subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and I'm going to be back with more of my collection soon, and hope you enjoyed this. You all have a great day, and God bless.